So, what exactly is the difference between logical thinking and critical thinking? Logical thinking is just a way to evaluate an information to make sure that it agrees with logic. That by that you can make a decision, by that you can make a judgment. While critical thinking is broader than that, it goes wider than that because it considers a lot of perspectives, it considers a lot of options, it considers a lot of facts to come to conclusion. So logical thinking is a bit contained, while critical thinking is expansive. Now, let me just make some few examples of what logical thinking is and in comparison to critical thinking. Logical thinking says, when I plug my phone in, my phone charges. That's logic, yeah? But critical thinking now begins to raise questions. It raises questions like, is your phone well plugged? How fast is your charger? How long is the light going to stay? These are the little determinants of whether your phone is going to charge. These are the little determinants of whether what you have assumed in your logical thinking faculty is correct. Now, it does not invalidate logic. It does not make the logical thinking conclusion, an illogical statement. All right. Another example is when there is sun and you spread your clothes dries. Yeah, your clothes dries. Yeah. Now that's a logical statement. Of course, when you spread your clothes dries. Now, but critical thinking now seeks to look at it like it depends on whether you even spread your clothes under the direct, under the direct radiation of the sun. If your clothes is directly exposed to the sun, then it has a very high chance of getting dried and even on time. That if your clothes is under a shade, and even though there is sun, it does not touch your clothes, and your clothes is not, will not be dried, or it's not going to be dried on time, as assumed in the logical statement. Now, the logical statement on its own is correct because when there is sun, your clothes dries. It makes sense, yeah. But critical thinking seeks to look at it like, well, not in all cases. There are other perspectives, there are other things to look at to make sure that this is absolutely correct. Now, let me give a third example. Now, when it rains, it floods. That's a kind of logical statement that rain can cause flood. But critical thinking now, yeah, critical thinking will now ask the question. It depends on the geography, the place, the location. It does not flood everywhere, even though it rains heavily almost everywhere. It does not flood everywhere. It has to be a place that is prone to flooding before flood can take place, yeah, before flood can happen. So the statement that when it rains it floods is logical enough, but it is not conclusive, yeah. It is not all encompassing because critical thinking will not break it down to look at it like, okay, let us consider some other factors that can affect this statement. Now, this is where the line is drawn between logical thinking and critical thinking. Logical thinking makes a statement a true statement because it's called logic for that reason. It agrees with logic. But critical thinking is more interested in the tiny details, the fine print, yeah, the small print of that information to be sure that, okay, all things being considered, it is absolutely true. It is absolutely correct. When you read, logically speaking, when you read, you pass an exam, yeah? But critically looking at it, that's critical thinking. When you read, you don't always pass. There are other determinants, there are other factors, there are other outside, elements that can affect someone writing an exam. Yeah, sorry, someone writing an exam that can affect someone not writing an exam, even though he has read or she has read, that would not guarantee a pass. Factors like there are chances that he will forget what he has read. There are chances that he does not have enough time to finish up his examination, thereby leading to failure or maybe not the expected measure of success. So, logical thinking makes a statement, a factually true statement, while critical thinking looks at it and judges it. Now, the two of them are both used for making decisions and arriving at judgments. Yeah, arriving at conclusions. They are both used for it, but critical thinking is more stressful. Permit me to use the word. Critical thinking is more stressful. Is more detailed. Is more pedantic. Yeah, is more meticulous in checking out every alternative, checking out every evidence to be sure that the logical statement is true or not. That's the difference between logical thinking and critical thinking. Thank you.